Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Torey, and today I am going to share how I create my sticker titles for my bullet journal setups or reading journal setups using Cricut and using the print and cut like sticker method. So I am in Cricut Design Space right now. This video is going to go live simultaneously with my July bullet journal setup, so I won't be going outside of my computer essentially. So we are just going to go straight to the text tool. I'm going to use a system font and I'm going to search for one of my favorite fonts. This is Sparkled, and I'm going to select that. Normally when I'm doing these types of stickers, I like them to be as quick and easy as possible. Overall, this particular video only took me about 16 minutes to record, and that was simultaneously with me like doing other things while also waiting for things to happen. So overall, I feel like it's a pretty quick method to get some nice header stickers or title stickers for a bullet journal or reading journal setup. I like to, once I've got my font chosen and have my stuff written out, I like to resize my fonts just based on the width. So I'm changing all of my fonts to have a 4-inch width, so that will fit perfectly within my B6 bullet journal setup. You can measure your bullet journal or whatever you're using and kind of figure out how it's going to fit best for you there. And then just under the size option on the Cricut Design Space, I just go into the width and just change the width to match whatever I need it to. I'm also going to add my individual page headers here. So I have this month, orders, currentlys, habits, moods, sleep. And then I had put orders, but I changed that to Etsy since I already have an orders header. So yeah, I am going to finagle with this a little bit, but before we start really messing with things to get it ready to be printed, I'm going to resize that to the 4 inches, and then we will need to go down to my layers panel over on the right hand side, and we want to weld everything together. I chose Unite for this particular process. It's not going to be too big of a deal because I do end up flattening everything, but if you were cutting these out on vinyl, you would want to weld everything together. Since I will be flattening, it's not going to make a difference because I'm printing these on paper, not cutting them out on vinyl. The next thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of a border, and we'll use the offset feature to do that. I generally like to play with my sizes a little bit for the distance to get a good kind of border around each of my words. This is all going to be based on personal preference. For this particular kind of phrases that I chose, I ended up going with 0.06. And once you hit apply, it'll add like a gray kind of border around all of your items. The next thing that you'll do is just select the offset layer, and you can change that color to white, which is what I am doing here, except I did it backwards. I selected the word layer first. So I will fix that and then go to the offset layer and change those to white. Once that's done, we'll just flatten everything together, essentially. Once I have my outlines really decided, the Cricut is essentially going to cut around those outlines. So I generally like to remove any of the kind of miscellaneous circles, and you can do that on the layers panel option. At the very bottom, there's a contour, which you just saw me pull up, and I just selected the innards of my Y and L and J because I don't want my Cricut cutting those out. That is another personal preference thing. If you want those to be cut out, then don't mess with it. If you do want them to be not cut out, then you can deselect those on your offset layer and they won't cut out. After I've got all that done, I'm going to click and hold and drag over both of my kind of like fonts here, and then I'm going to flatten those. I want to use as much of my sticker paper as possible. I don't want to have anything left over. So I'm going to go back and forth a little bit here to kind of get the best possible usage of my paper. You'll see that I have now 2 of my regular titles. I'm placing them right next to each other and then aligning them vertically, I think is what I chose. And then I'm going to flip them 90 degrees and attach those together. This isn't going to work for me because it still has me printing and cutting on 2 pieces of paper, and that's not what I want. So I'm going to cancel that and go back again. I'm going to adjust the second set of titles and move the longer words to the very bottom. That way I can kind of tuck them really closely to each other and, like I said, make the most of my paper. Because I'm doing this though, I am going to have to redo the offset. So that offset that was underneath it, I'm going to just highlight that and delete it. Since everything is attached, it's going to be a little bit funky. I'll have to do some like double clicking, and then I accidentally keep clicking into my place to edit the words, and that's not what I want. So you'll see me clicking a little funny here for a minute, but ultimately it ends up working out just fine. I will just click the second layer that I adjusted and redo that offset layer and add the 0.06 offset to it, change it to white, and then flatten everything back together. That way everything matches. A lot of this type of title making, I guess, is, like I said earlier, personal preference, and this is just my preference. So it does take a little bit of kind of finagling and seeing what you like and how you like things kind of printed together and all that good stuff. But the more you mess around with it, the more you'll figure out what you like. And then here we go. I've went to my make again, and now I've got everything exactly how I wanted. I'm using almost this full sheet of paper, so I will have hardly anything wasted. And then I will go to continue. When we get to continue, since this is going to be a print then cut file, I'm just going to go to the print setup. So I'm going to click send to printer. I've got my printer just pulled up here. I generally turn off the ad bleed because my borders are white, so that's not going to make a difference. But I am going to turn on use system dialog box. This is going to allow my print settings, or like my printer box, to pop up once I click print so that I can adjust the quality settings of my actual print. So I've got that turned on, and I'm going to go ahead and click print. And then that will pop up my print dialog box for me. And then I can click into my preferences here, and then I can adjust everything to how I want it. So generally I change my paper source to my rear paper feeder. And then the quality, I have the option for high and best, but I find with the paper that I'm using, high works the best. So I'm going to change that to high and just click print. And you'll see that everything is preparing to print and getting that sent over to my printer, and that will print out. And then when you get that out of your printer, you can use the little kind of image over on the left-hand side of the screen to make sure that you're actually placing the paper on your mat correctly, because I have placed mine upside down before and just really messed up some cuts that way. I've attached my maker. I've selected my machine. I use the washi sheet. If you don't already see this, you can click browse materials and just type in washi sheet and click that. There is a little banner option that you can select to favorite a material type. And that's why you see washi sheet underneath my set base materials. I'm going to click on that, and I'm always going to change the pressure to less, because that gives me a kiss cut feel for my stickers. And then just hop over to my Cricut and press the little Cricut go button, and then get everything cut out. Like I said earlier, I don't have anything for this video other than just the screen recording. So if you want to see how these stickers came out, I will link my July bullet journal setup down in the description box below for you if you want to head over there and see how everything came out. I was really quite pleased with these particular titles. I haven't actually done a print and cut with this font yet. I've used it, obviously, but I haven't done a print and cut out with it, and I think it looks so good. So let me know in the comments down below if you've got any questions that I can help you with or answer for you regarding this process. I did want it to be a very simple process because when I'm doing this particular thing for my journaling, I want it to be quick. I want it to be very easy and quick. So I wanted to share the easiest way that I know of to get this done. So hopefully it helps somebody else out there. Let me know your thoughts. But yeah, that's all I've got for today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in my next video. If you've got any suggestions for any other things you want to see with the Cricut that I could potentially help with, leave them down in the comments below as well. All right, you have a great rest of your day. Bye.